there'll be some people. And the recording's happening, which I think is good. Yes. And let's see. I mean, I hope people come. Let's see. They should have got a reminder. Okay, there's one attendee already. Aha. Welcome. What's up? Hello, people joining. Welcome to the launch. We're going to give people 5 minutes to arrive. So just sit tight. And if you want to introduce yourself and say where you're from in the chat. So and say hello from Riga. This is where.
Oh.
And let's see who else joins. What time is it in Jakarta right now?
I'm sorry, weather?
What time is it in Jakarta?
It's 7
okay.
past 1.
Good evening events. Yeah, it's 2 p.m.
It looks like it's going to rain now.
Oh, what season is it in Jakarta?
It's a rainy season.
Okay, that makes sense.
Actually it should start at like 2 months ago. So it's very, very late now. The rain season came very late this year.
How many months is it meant to go on for?
Should be like 4 to 5 months, and then there's a transition month, about 2 months, and then dry, very, very dry, hot season the next 5 months. But this year I think we have like 10 months of hot season, very, very hot, especially the last month.
Oh, which one do you prefer, or is it just is it good to have a change?
I like rainy season.
Maybe in Latvia there's the snow season, so the snow goes on for about 4 months. So now it's really snowing outside. It's just like really thick snow everywhere.
Wow.
I don't know if I can show you that out of the window.
Let's see. Wow, yes. Oh, very. That's like a postcard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a winter wonderland.
Yeah, it's winter.
Hello, everyone who's joining us. So we're going to give people a couple more minutes to join before we start. So thank you for coming on this lovely evening in Jakarta, this afternoon in Latvia and the UK. We're going to have a wonderful session of readings, bit of singing, some conversation. So thank you for joining us. And in the meantime, if you want to say hello in the chat, do introduce yourselves, let us know where you're watching from. It will start in a minute or so. Maybe I'll put on screen. Oh no, this is okay. I haven't done a launch for so long now. It's been, maybe it's been a whole year, a little bit over a year since I did a launch. So it's all coming back to me. And I should say, if you need captioning, I think there's the captioning option on the bottom. Hopefully that's obvious, to put captions on for yourself. Yeah. Let's all start in just a minute. Okay, so it's 5 past. Oh, I've got to have a hello in the chat.
Wow. Hi, Ikhda. From Balikpapan.
So, greetings. Everyone else, if you want to say hello. Thank you, Uni. So Welcome to the event. I'm Emma Dai'an Wright from the Emma Press, and I'm delighted to welcome you to the launch of About Us, the collection of short stories by Reda Gaudiamo. This is a book that's been in the works for a few years due to various events. I'm so glad that it's finally out in the world, and we're able to share more of Reda's wonderful writing with you. So the way this is going to go today is we're going to talk a bit about the book, how it came about originally in Indonesia, and then how the translation came about. And Reda's going to read a story from the book, and then we'll have a conversation. If you have any questions that occur to you about the stories, then do put them in the chat, or possibly in the Q&A, and I'll try to bring them in. But first of all, Reda is going to sing a song, because Reda is a writer and a singer, musician, chef, I think. So many things. So I'm going to invite Reda to start off with a song. So I'll put
Maybe
you.
I think the right word is I really don't know what I want to be. So it's like keep on trying on every single thing. It's like is the sound okay?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are the few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and cribs, apples, strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells, and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and my lashes, silver white winter that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when a bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad.
Oh, that was wonderful. I love your voice, Reda. It's so beautiful. And
Thank you.
You're just very talented in various areas. And I'm glad that you've chosen to share them all with us, or share lots of them with us.
Thank you.
And Reda will be singing a song at the end as well, so you can look forward to that. So this book, I'm going to share the screen to show the cover. So this is a beautiful cover created by Amy Louise Evans, and just so you can look at it, and the figures in the cover relate to the first story about the daughter, father, and and him, whoever him is, Ayuning and him. You can see him lurking in the background. And yes, translated by Ikhda, Ayuning, Maharsi, Degoul, and Philippa Barker. So where to begin? I'm going to stop sharing now. Where to begin with the book? So it's a collection of short stories written by Reda, I think up until 2015, which is when Tentang Kita came out in Indonesia. And I was first introduced to Reda's writing, I think at either the 2018 or 2017 London Book Fair, and first through her children's writing, but then also through her writing for adults. And I just love Reda's perspective on the world, and the clarity of her writing, but also just the mischief as well. And I'm really excited. This is the first book of Reda's for adults that we're publishing. And it's taken a while. Just you imagine all the things that happened between 2018 and now, with the pandemic, and then I had various things. But I think it's come out really well. I think it's that we've worked on the translations for a while. Reda came and stayed with me in Birmingham back when I was in Birmingham in the UK, and we went through the translations together. I have really fond memories of that. But I wanted to ask Reda, how did the original collection come together? How did you select the stories? And when did the book start to take shape, when it was first published?
Okay. It started with a friend of mine, Herlina Dewi. She just started a new publishing company called Stiletto, and she said that she loves my works, my short stories in magazines, various magazines, and she said she want to put it in a book as a short stories collection. But the thing is, I said it's kind of impossible because I don't have the text with me. Once I send it to the magazine and that's it. I just collect. Sometimes I collect the magazine. I bought the magazine, but most of the time I just when I saw it was being published, and then I received the money from the magazine. Okay, that's it. That's and then I just forgot about. I forgot all about them. And then she said she was willing to retrace it. I mean, like, so she spent like almost a year find all those short stories in many magazines. And yeah, at the end of the day, she said, well, I get this 20 something short stories of yours, and let's put it in a book. And wow, and okay. So we have to retype it because I don't have any file of them. So except for the Compass newspaper, I have only, so out of that 20 something short stories, I only have 3 files because was the latest one, and the rest just, well, we have to retype it. And during the retype it, there's so many there's once when you read your old works, you seems like, oh, why did I write this kind of phrases? I should change that. So I kind of changed a little bit here and there. So yeah, and then we spent another 6 months on putting it together, design it, and checking, editing, and everything. So it's like, I think it's quite long. And then it published in 2015, I think. Yeah, by Stiletto. And when you decided to publish it, it just like, it was April, I think. I received the news on April, and the contract with Stiletto just finished a month before. So yeah.
Well, I think it shows how busy you are that you weren't keeping file copies of all your stories. You're just like, stories are gone, I've got other things to do. Because I remembered you also did fashion design and your advertising, and you helped with the bookshop. And yeah, so it makes sense that you weren't keeping a neat folder with all your stories, archive copies.
Well, I think most of the story, especially the ones from High magazine, the boy magazine, I think most of them were commissioned short stories. So I said yes to the editor, and then I didn't pay any attention on the deadline. So the So the editor came to our house and just sitting beside me, and she type it, and then so I just said, okay, 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 and she just sat there, and at the time we use this floppy disk, and she said, okay, put it in the floppy disk, save it, and then sometimes the idea just came very quick, but there were times when it was so hard to find an idea. It's just, so she stayed at our house for for a for the whole day, waiting for me to visit. Sometimes from the in the morning she had breakfast with us, and then she left after we had dinner. So it's like
I don't know if people, I'm thinking, would writers want this or not want this, to have the editor literally in your house saying, right, right, right. Some people would want it, I think, but I think
yeah,
that's the
maybe.
dream. But wow. Yeah, well, well, that's
I think,
a really
yeah, I
impressive
think
beginning to some of the stories.
some stories like One Fine Day, I think is the last one. It was written in Teddy's and Macy bookshop. At the time, they had this session of finish your project. I think it called finish your project. And then at the time, I said yes to a request on writing a short story, and then I had no idea. I just sat there, and then I saw this old lady is being dragged by her daughter and son-in-law, and then the idea just came at a time, and then done in well, pretty quick.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. I think it's a really, really good ending, but also, yeah, it's really compassionate and yeah, I love that one. So I've got more questions for you at the end. I guess I should say more about the translation process. So we had a kind of co-translation team. So some of the stories that Ikhda and Philippa working together.
Yeah.
I remember some of them, Ikhda's translation, and I was editing them, and then Georgia and you were editing some. So there was just a lot of work along the way. And then also Reda, because you speak English as well, you also got involved, which was really helpful because there were some points where I think it was just like specific things of what's happening in the story,
Yeah.
and so we could clarify that this is. I think I can't remember any. I should have got some examples, but there were some like very precise phrasings of what was happening about. I guess maybe even in one fine morning, it was about the old lady being taken to the mall, and I remember there was a note written down of like what this was. It was she was being taken to a fancy mall at the weekend, even if she didn't want to. And it was like a very like this precise nuance of like how she would explain this was happening to her, and from the point of view of her daughter-in-law wanting to parade her in the mall. So it was really helpful being able to work with you on these as well. And yeah, and so it took there was a big team sort of working on the stages, like Ikhda and then Philippa and then me and Georgia, and then you were checking throughout. So that's how it worked. And I hope that people will enjoy the results. I think we're really proud of them.
Let's hope.
So before we have more conversation, I think we have maybe one question in the chat as well. But would you be able to read a story? And I thought you could read it in Indonesian first so we can hear the language, and I think some people in the audience will understand as well, and then in English, and then we'll be able to, people who understand Indonesian will be able to maybe think about how the translation worked.
Okay.
So I'll put Reda on that.
So I read it now? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Bayi dalam bahasa Indonesia ya. Begitu pintu mobil terbuka, suara itu langsung menyergap telinga, dan itu aku katakan padamu. Suara? Suara apa? Katamu sambil mengangkat kepala tinggi-tinggi, mencoba menemukan suara yang kumaksud. Aku berkeras memaksamu mendengar, Tapi sekali lagi kau bilang kau tak dengar apa-apa. Lalu kita masuk rumah, menyalakan lampu, mandi, duduk di ruang tamu berhadapan, diam. Aku tetap mendengar suara itu, melengking. Kita duduk berhadapan, kau membaca majalah berita setelah menyalakan radio. Kau tak suka televisi di ruang tengah. Aku menikmati secangkir teh hangat. Suara itu masih terdengar juga. Tak enak di telinga. Aku bilang sekali lagi, suara itu semakin keras. Kau berhenti membaca sebentar, memasang telinga lalu menggeleng. Suara? Aku tak dengar apa-apa, katamu. Aku bangun dari sofa, mengecilkan radio. Kau dengar sekarang? Tanyaku. Kau memejamkan mata. Sesaat kemudian kau bilang, ya samar saja. Lalu kau kembali membaca. Di telingaku suara itu semakin keras, memekakan telinga, menyakitkan kepala. Mungkin baiknya aku tidur saja. Suara itu mengikuti. Kau menyusul beberapa saat kemudian, berbaring di sisiku. Nafasmu hangat di telinga. Setengah berbisik aku katakan padamu, suara itu tak juga berhenti. Biarkan saja, nanti hilang juga, kau menggumam. Biarkan saja, nanti pasti hilang juga. Suara itu makin keras seperti sangat kesakitan, kataku. Kau menggumam lagi. Kau bilang, sebentar lagi pasti berhenti. Lalu, napasmu mulai teratur. Kau tertidur, suara itu masih terdengar. Emma, should I finish the whole story or just a part of it?
I guess. I think just a part of it is okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to read the English one. Baby. The moment the car door opens, the cry hits my ears. I tell you what I can hear. A cry? What cry? You ask, tilting your head, trying to make it out. I insist you listen more carefully, but you still say you can't hear anything. We go inside, turn on the lights, shower, sit down opposite one another in the living room, and I swear to you, I can still hear crying, screaming. We sit facing each other, you turn on the radio, then start reading the paper. You don't like to watch TV too much. I sip a cup of hot tea, but the cry is still bothering me. I tell you again, that crying is getting louder. You stop reading for a moment, cock an ear, shake your head. I can't hear anything, you say. I get up from the couch and turn down the volume on the radio. Can you hear it now? You close your eyes. After a moment, you open your mouth and say, yes, faintly. Then you go straight back to your reading. To me, though, it only seems to be getting louder, piercing. My head is aching. Maybe I just need to go to bed. But the cry follows me. You follow me, lying down next to me. Your breath warms my ear. I can still hear it, I whisper. Just ignore it. It'll stop soon, you say. But it gets louder. It sounds like a cry of pain, I tell you. You start muttering again, insisting it'll stop soon. Your breath becomes more even. You fall asleep. The crying continues.
Thank you. I'm trying to remove the spotlight. Thank you, Reda. Oh, that's an intense story, but you have to get the book to find out how it ends. Well, that kind of leads me to the first question. So in your author's note at the start of the book, you say your inspiration for the stories sometimes from family, sometimes from newspaper stories, sometimes from things you've observed in real life. I wondered, can you remember any times, like maybe can you remember any examples of the inspirations, maybe from newspaper stories? Like some of them, because I started wondering when I was editing them, I was like, this seems like something you would have overheard on a train. This seems like something you'd have seen a news story about.
Yeah. This one especially is the idea came from one tiny news in a newspaper. This newspaper called Poskota is the first page is just full of headlines with just one line or two about the news. So if someone read it and open it in front of you, you can read the all those headlines right away. So the headlines is the idea of this story. So it's about a mother who get questioned by the police because of her baby's is died, is dead. The police found that the body of the baby is covered with bruises and wounds. So the suspect is the mother. And I from that headlines I start writing this. I started writing this story, and then I just imagine actually everything. This thing could happen around us. We hear babies crying, or our neighbor shouting for help, and we some kind of didn't do anything because we thought we believe that's maybe it's a domestic thing that we shouldn't interfere with, or things that we think is not proper, so we just let it, we just ignore it, and then we never know that by being ignorant, and sometimes it leads to something awful.
Yeah, it reads like a kind of worst case scenario, because I think in lots of cases you think, oh, it's probably okay, but in this story it's
Yeah.
okay. And yeah. Can I ask you about the one about the mother and the daughter on the train? I wondered where that idea had come from.
That idea is it's a from I was in a train, and then I saw just like a few seats from me. It's an old train where you can have old and cheap one, so you have to sit facing one to another. So it's one seat and facing the other, and each seat has can have two people sit on it. So this mother and daughters, they're talking quite intense, and then I saw the mother, it's like at the end, it's kind of like it's going to cry, and I just wonder what kind of story that she's telling the daughter or the young women beside her. So it's like, what if? So this what if questions just popped up in my head, and they just, what if the mother's telling her a secret that she kept for so long, and then it's the time for her to open up to her daughter, and then the daughter's like, wow. So yeah, it just that scene. I mean, it's in the morning. We just left from the main station going to Java at the time. So it's like the whole the whole uh the whole time, it's the mother keep is the one who did the talking. So it's like, and the young one, the young women. So I just assume that the young women is the daughters. Like it's like her expression is like, wow. So what? It's like, and sometimes she scratch her head like, oh, this must be a very serious story that the old lady is sharing. So what if it's about their own story that the mother kept for so long, and then she maybe this is the journey that she wants to settle everything right. It's a time maybe. So
Yeah, it's very gripping. Like you really feel like you're on that train. And I didn't see it. Yeah, I didn't see the ending coming, and I'm normally quite good at it. But yeah, I was just swept away. I was just reading and just kind of listening, and yeah, that's a really nice one. Um, so yeah, so my next question is, so quite a few of the stories have kind of reference to like frictions in multicultural society, talking about some skin color and ethnicity and generational tensions as well, especially of
Yeah.
a lot of younger people saying to their parents or their elders, like, you can't say that. And I really wanted to know, it'd be interesting to see what kind of, well, I guess readers in Britain think about it. But I wondered, like, what did people in Indonesia, in the society are writing, and what did they think? Did they think it was funny, or did they think it was sort of like, I don't know, kind of a bit rude? Like,
Well, I think some of them find the story. Some of the stories are funny. It's like let me check. Is this one? I think this one mostly this son-in-law.
yeah,
Son-in-law. Son-in-law is like that's I think that's connect to many friends of mine. So when the short story being published, and they said like, wow, it sounds, that's us. I mean, and then there's the other one is her mother's daughter. I think some part of them is like really connect to most of my friends. I mean, like most of us, especially the one who grew up in the 80s, late 80s, I think we experienced this those kind of events or talk with our mother where or our parents, where our parents have some ideas of what we should become. I mean, like being a doctor, being an engineer, an architect, are the most wanted career, I think, or are the ideas of our parents have for us. I mean, like, and therefore, when we were in a high school, we were being pushed to have this physics, this science class instead of literary class. So that's torture actually, because I was so not interested uh, in physics. I mean, like that's so hard for me. I love maths, and I love chemistry, but physics, I'm sorry, it's like, but my mom believed that it just you're just being lazy. And I just found when I wrote that, and then it was published in Compass, and some friends of mine just like sending me text like, that's that's what happened to me when I was in high school. Wow, okay, okay. Yeah, it happens.
yeah. No, what sort of resonates with me, like I feel like I'm at the older end of the cousins on my mum's side of the family. So we know we were the first ones, and we had to work very hard, and like there was a lot of pressure to do science. I felt I ended up rebelling by doing literature. But still, like that wasn't really what I wanted to do. And now my younger cousins who are like 20, so I'm 37. So my younger cousins, they're doing like fashion or like a gap year or
Uh,
just language. And I'm like, ah, you're allowed to do that. I thought you had to, you had to do something kind of serious and like career focused. Well, obviously fashion could be career focused, but yeah, yeah, I thought I thought it was very funny. And yeah, and then another theme in their stories is sort of career women and working mums and how that can be hard, is like especially in the opening story. And I wondered how, yeah, and in 20, oh yeah, and so there's a story 24 times 60 times 60, which is sort of kind of the day of a woman and then her inner thoughts. So you hear,
in her head.
yeah, so her interactions with her husband and her son, and then you have her in her head, just the kind of the screaming, ranting of the frustrations. And yeah, maybe can you tell us about that? And also, what is the title? I should have asked you. Is it? It's
It's a
dimension.
24 times 60 times 60 equals to it's if you times all those numbers, it ends up with the seconds that we have in one day.
Oh, of course, of course. Yes, I was
24
thinking.
hours times 60 minutes times 60 seconds. So
Yeah.
it's 24, it's one day, 24 hours in a life of a working mom. The idea is from my daily routine. So it's like, oh my God, I mean, like this every day, every morning is always like that's what you it seems like everybody's depends on me to wake up early. So if I didn't wake up early, so everybody's like, if I didn't wake up at certain hour or certain time, and they just like, okay, then we still have some time to sleep. And then once I woke up late, and then the thing is like everybody's like, well, we wait for you to wake us up. Oh my God, it's like, that's crazy. I mean, like, especially at the time the story was written when I was working Cosmopolitan, I think. Yeah, in
Mm.
Cosmopolitan. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was quite a
So
big job, wasn't it? That you'd have been very, very busy with your work
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. I was a deputy editor at the time, deputy chief editor, and then I also handling the creative side of other magazine that being published of the group, Harper's Bazaar and Cosmo Girl. So it's like meetings for those three magazines, and then meeting with the distributor, with the agencies, and then deadlines, and sending artworks and layouts to our principal in New York. It's like it's never ending. I mean, like I could finish my day around in the busy days around 10 or 11 in the evening, and then wake up in the morning at 5 because the school start at 7. So it's like, wow.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I feel like I learned quite a lot about being a boss from you, Reda, when we spent time together and when you were staying in Birmingham and the London Book Fair. I just remember seeing, I don't know, the way you organize things and the things you expected. And I thought, actually, yeah, yeah, I could expect more, or I don't know, I could be more organized. And yeah, that was really helpful for me in my career. So thank you for mentoring me accidentally.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really, lots of things have really stayed with me. But yeah, uh, yeah, that story is really real. I think, especially as now I have my baby as well. Although actually, I'm like, yeah, yeah,
Sometimes you just feel like you you're trapped between guilt. I mean, like, if you pay so much attention to the work, then you feel guilty to your family. And when you spend so much time with your family, and then you find like, oh, you should finish this. Oh my God, it's like a constant fight in your head. It's like, and you can decide which one's more important. I mean, like, I know people will say your family is more important. Yes, but okay, well, you know what
yeah.
I mean.
It's hard when it's simultaneous. They're both really
Yeah,
important, and you
yeah.
need them both. And that's, yeah, it's really hard, but it's, yeah, I love seeing it captured in your stories. I've got a couple more questions, and then have a song. So one of the magazines, so at the back of the book, there's the acknowledgements, and you say where the stories were first published, and some were in women's magazines, some in national newspaper, and there were some for teenage boy magazines. And I guess I don't really know that much about um, magazines in the UK, but I feel like there aren't so many for teenage boys. And it's just really interesting maybe having an idea of the readers. And I wondered, did you ever hear what the teenage boys thought about your stories, or did any of them ever write in, or I don't know? which is a mystery that I want.
Well, I think they didn't. I think they were not as active or as enthusiastic as the young women readers. I mean, because I don't know, maybe it's because they just the magazine that I put my short stories, the magazine for high school boys. So it packed with rock music, with adventures, with gears, all those kind of things. But one day the chief editor said that they want to have short stories in that magazine, and so they asked writers to put their stories, to publish their stories with the magazine. I think they don't have any comments or certain comments on the stories that I wrote, except the one that we have in the book Outward. I think that's the one that I received some comments, but very, very late after, I think after the book's published. I met some readers and they said, I remember that story when it came in a magazine, and it was so it is so it's us, they said, because his school and other school were in a constant duel, in this constant fight from time to time, and they said certain scene were what he experienced. So it's like, wow. Well, I think that's the only comment that I received from the boys magazine.
That's good that it resonated with readers, or at least one reader a lot.
At least one reader, yeah.
Yeah, that's all we can hope for. But yeah, looking at the acknowledgements page, say there's a story about the dogs. That was for High magazine. Oh no, I shouldn't have said that. That was a twist. A story about and yeah, so there's some themes that would connect with like, yeah, with high school kids.
I think it's more, I think I kind of when I wrote for the teen magazine, actually I really tried not to have a love story. I really didn't like to write love stories for those magazines. I mean, like, there's too many already, I think. So I decided to write something different. It's more on about mothers, about fathers, about their daily life, instead of boys meet girls and then fell in love and something happened. I think let others do that. I just want to tap other subjects. Yeah.
That makes sense. So my final question is just about your writing. How do you fit your writing in? Like, before we started the talk, we were saying about your tour and you're doing music and you're doing events and you're doing TikTok. You're sharing recipes on Instagram as well. Like, when are you writing? How are you finding time to write?
Nowadays is nowadays I wrote mostly for my social media, for Instagram, for sometimes for my blog, which is, now I remember that I haven't posted anything for the last month. And then and also I have a deadline for Nawila 4. Teddy is here. So and sometimes when I couldn't sleep, then that's the time when I write. I mean, like, mostly I write at night, or at night, mostly after midnight, because that's the quietest, or that's when I tried everything and I still couldn't sleep. Okay, maybe writing is my last source. So sometimes after write a page or two, then I can go sleep. or when I really have to edit or to write something like yeah, last week, no, 2 days ago, I just submit a new text for a friend, so maybe it could be another book, I don't know. And but before, when I was working, full-time working, I think writing is a very is helping me to how you call it, to calm yourself, or to transport you from this hectic schedule or things that going around. Is more like you move to another part and then to another word, and then you just kind of breathe and writing, or you, because sometimes you just receive a lot, you got a lot of ideas in your head, and it needs to be written, but you don't have time for that. And when, I don't know if it's right or not, but sometimes when the things get so um when things get so busy and kind of uh tired of doing the work, and then your ideas, the ideas of your stories is just like calling you to like, and it helps. I mean, it helps a lot. And sometimes if I'm lucky, I can send it to a magazine or something and get something something else.
That's amazing that you're so to calm yourself. I would feel like my issue with having my mind racing is that I couldn't concentrate and I couldn't do anything creative or constructive. So that I just had to go on YouTube and just completely zone out watching like potters making cups and things. But you're able to take that kind of busy mind and yeah, make it calm through the writing.
Or maybe I don't have the ability to concentrate on certain things for a long time. So whenever I get like, oh, this is too much, and then I just like switch and doing other things, and then I'm doing things as I don't know. I mean, like a friend of mine said that uh I I don't have many abilities, but or I have disabilities to concentrate. That's why I'm doing things what I'm doing. So that's her theory, and I think she's right. I don't know. It's like, so it's like after writing a page or a chapter or two, and then I saw my guitar, and I just can start playing guitar or doing live, or and then after that I do other things downstairs, and then come back and forget everything about writing, and then knitting, or well, that's not healthy actually. I think that's not right.
Oh, well, I'm still glad you do. Um, so we're getting to the end of the event. And before, well, while I remember, the book is available to buy from the Emma Press website in the UK, but we're working on getting copies direct in Indonesia as well. So hopefully that will be easier. And so I would say keep an eye on Reda's social media channels and on the Emma Press's social media channels if you'd like simpler ways to order the book.
Mm.
And but now I'm going to invite Reda to sing us another song, if that would be okay.
Okay. This song is the lyric of the song is taken from Rumi's poetry. So the title is Without Me. I recorded the song last year, and it's already in Spotify if you like to hear the better version of the song. Oh, sky without me, do not change. Oh, without me, do not shine. Oh, without me, do not grow. Oh, time without me, do not go. Oh, sky without me, do not change. Oh, without me, do not shine. Without me, do not grow. Oh, time without me, do not go. Oh, you without me cannot go. Oh, you without me cannot go. Oh, you without me cannot go.
Oh, the applause is coming in the emojis. I'll add mine too. Thank you, Reda. That was a wonderful way to wrap up the event.
Thank you. Thank you for the launch. Thank you. Thank you for our book.
Oh, thank you for writing the stories and for being so helpful in understanding the whole way through. It's been a real pleasure working on the book with you. And thank you to everyone for joining us. It's been a really nice session, and I hope you had a nice time too.
Thank you for coming.
And if you're watching this later on YouTube, then and if you're in the UK, then do go to the Emma Press website or other bookshops and order the book. Or keep an eye out on our channels. And yeah, I'm going to wrap the event up. Thank you again, everyone. Doing nice comments in the in the chats. And yeah, it's been really nice to see you again, Reda. We should do it again soon.
Yeah. Hope we can. I hope I can come visit and see you.
I would love this. It's definitely this will happen. We will see each other soon in person.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to end the event now. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for
your
Thank
you for coming, everyone. Thank you. Bye.